Hey guys, welcome to Hurting Little Cows to the Glory of God. If you haven't been here before, I'm Sarah. I'm married to Mark. We have 8 kids at home and we live on a very small budget. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I have all kinds of ideas about how to help people save money and cook food at home and all of that. But real life has happened, and this channel comes after all my commitments to the house and to church and all of that stuff. And so we just haven't been making much videos lately because we've had a busy time. But I'm going to be making some day in the life videos soon because that really is more of what we want to show you, is just how a family lives together and how we do the things we do. Those might be more like a vlog style of turn on the camera and show what's going on throughout the day. Or they might be what we used to do, the whenever, however we said it. It was the daily for a little bit. And I would just talk through what we did during the day. Because living in a large family, things definitely look different than if you just have a couple kids. Then you add in homeschooling and a husband who's home all the time and having grandmothers that live in the house and out right behind the house. We just have a different family dynamic, and some people are interested in that. But this video today, I wanted to share more about ways that we save money, and it's more in the things that we don't do than the things that we actually do. Because saving money, you can make switches. So like making homemade bread saves money over buying the same quality bread at the store. But I could probably save money in making bread if I just bought the cheapest thing available out there, but that wouldn't be the best nutrition for my family. But this video is not about that. It's about the things that we don't do. So we are going to a local museum today that is kind of costly to get in. But the reason we're going to that museum is because my mom got us a pass for Christmas. When my mom asks us what we want for Christmas presents, I suggest things that are going to be used throughout the year that everyone's going to enjoy. So it might be an outdoor toy that all the kids are going to enjoy, or it might be something like a pass that we can go to these places that personally would be hard for our family to afford, or I'd have to cut from some other part of the budget to be able to go. So while we enjoy going to museums and things, the only local museum that we go to, if it's not a free day, is the Owl's Head Transportation Museum, because we have that pass. Would my kids enjoy the Children's Museum? Probably. They really probably would. Would they enjoy we have a Maine Maritime Museum down another town. The kids would probably love that, but it would cost money anytime we went to those things. But we can go to the Owl's Head Transportation Museum a few times a week and get to play with their toys and get to have their indoor space and not pay anything for it. So another thing that we do, I enjoy coffee every morning, but we make it at home instead of going out. So we save the cost of buying Dunkin' Donuts. I don't even know what it costs to get a cup of coffee because I haven't gone to buy coffee for a long time. But also I'm not having to get in the car, load up everybody or whatever. And I'm not going to have to pay for the gas to get over there. Dunkin' Donuts isn't very far from here. I could get there super easy, but all of the expenditures and time to do that, it's a lot easier to buy a cheap coffee pot at Walmart and make your own coffee. So what are some other things? I have Mark behind the camera. Can you think of things before I go through the rest of my list?
Well, I was thinking about like the Owl's Head Transportation Museum. It's a one-time cost. A lot of times with a family the size of ours, if we go years ago when we were at the Knoxville Zoo and we were staying in Knoxville for the winter, to go one day was about the same cost as buying a year-long membership. So we bought someone bought a year-long membership for us. They wanted to take us to the zoo, but it was actually cheaper to just pay for a year-long pass for the whole family, and we went a dozen times or more.
Going that one time, it would have cost us $120 to pay for each person to have a ticket plus parking. But to buy the family membership was $100, and we got free parking with the family membership. Okay, I'm back. I switched where I was because Mark here, he hurt his back, so he's laying down. He was filming me, but then when he's talking, I wasn't sure if it was picking up right. So anyway, memberships are a great thing. And plan your memberships. Like right now, Owl's Head Transportation Museum, we've gotten it 2 years.
Yep.
2 years. And I'm probably going to ask Mom for it again because we enjoy it so much. But if you live someplace that has lots of different things you would enjoy, 1 year get the zoo membership. And when that runs out, the next year get the membership to the Children's Museum. And when that runs out, maybe go back to the zoo membership or maybe do a different membership. We give too much to our kids.
Yeah, I think we were both about to say the same thing, actually. That oftentimes people say, yes, but we already went to the zoo or we already went to this thing. We've been to the Allison Transportation Museum at least a dozen times this year. And we go to events every other weekend that are
in the summer.
A truck event, a motorcycle event. But this time of year, we mostly go in for the STEM area, the kids' play area, where they can build and run around, and it's a nice warm place. There's no snow, there's no rain.
And every time we go, we've never had a kid be like, oh, we're going there again?
No, they're
Never.
always excited. So the same with the zoo when we were in Knoxville a few years ago. Whenever we went, we might take a different path. We might spend more time with the elephants. We might pursue different parts of the same thing. Mm-hmm. But taking a year and drilling down on we're going to learn a lot about the zoo and a lot of these animals and how they're cared for and how they're kept and all of that sort of thing. Yeah. And then with the Transportation Museum, the same. So, like this year we got a state park pass, but we probably won't do that next year.
Also, make sure that you you can change it up for your kids while you're there. So the Owl's Head Transportation Museum, one time I took some note cards. You could take any type of paper, whatever. And I made up clues and we did a scavenger hunt. So I had cards that were for Gideon's age and I had cards that went up to Samuel's age. And so Gideon had things like find a bicycle, something easy like that. But Samuel had find 2 cars that were made during JFK's presidency. And so he had to think history-wise, timing, would this have been made because cars are made the year before? They're actually, all that stuff. Yeah, so it made really interesting conversations. When we did the zoo, we would have different days. We would let Gideon lead that day. Gideon, you get to take us wherever you go. And we saw whatever animals he wanted to see that day. Mm-hmm. And he felt big and in charge and it was fun. And then we do it with a different kid. So the kids got to spend the time they wanted. If one kid wanted to stay in the reptile house for a long time, that's where we stayed if it was their day to pick. So you can make it different.
And also along the way, depending on who was leading that day, you might meet a certain zookeeper. Yeah. Remember one day we met the lady that has the bearded dragon and the iguana and the giant, the tarantula, that kind of thing. Sweet. But at the Transportation Museum, you might meet the curator of the airplane collection and ask him questions. And then next time they see you, they're like, oh, those are those people that are interested in what I'm passionate about. And they'll tell you more of their stories. So it's a way to engage with people and learn a lot more by going multiple times and engaging with those people.
Right. So I guess this video has turned more into how to use a museum because I've got all kinds of ideas now. So while we're talking about this, teach your kids to ask questions, because when we go places, we go for the event or the activity, wherever we're going. But we also have taught the kids to ask questions about the people that they're going to meet. So if you go to, I'm going to say Disney World. That's not a place where you're going to save money. But I've never been, I have been to Disney World when I was a kid. But if you go to Disney World and you have your kids ask people, what's your favorite part of the job? Why did you get into this job? What's your least favorite part of this job? And if you ask people all the way from the people who run the rides to the people who are cleaning up to the customer service people because you lost your backpack, you will find out so much information and give your kids such a wealth of knowledge of what's out there available for jobs. And the types of people, like the person cleaning up Disney World is just as important as the person who's running the rides. And I think sometimes we look lower on those jobs. So when we go into the museum or when we go into other places, the kids have gotten really good at asking people questions and standing there and listening to people's answers about things.
Yeah, we don't give them a checklist like, here's some questions to ask and you have to write it down and then they run away. I've seen that with some school groups.
They've just seen us ask people these things. And so now they naturally do it too. I'm a person who talks a lot.
What you teach them, yeah. What you teach them is usually what you're doing, not necessarily what you say out loud.
Yeah. Another thing about the museums or park passes or whatever is if you have a close family friend that also can get a pass, it's very helpful. So today when we go to the museum, we're actually going to meet another family. And it's a family that our age ranges and interests are kind of different. And so this gives us a place where the kids can interact but have their own things, where when you here, I have baby toys. I have a whole range of toys here in our house. But if you're a person who only has little kids, but you want to meet with a family that has a whole range, meeting somewhere like this is a great place because people can spread out and do more things. So,
and because it's not home, none of the kids are bored with the toys. Like, even
right.
if you see this, you know, this collection of things that they can build with or whatever, but they only see it once every 2 weeks or once a month,
right,
they're going to be a lot more engaged with it.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You don't have to look at me.
So, okay, so off the museum memberships, that's a good way to save money. But another way to save money is when you go to these places, when you go to the museum, when you go to whatever, make sure you follow all of their rules. But take food with you. Maybe that's you go back to the car to have a picnic lunch when you go to these places, but not buying food out is such a good way to save money. We just went on vacation to see Virginia, and
that's our oldest daughter who lives in Tennessee.
Our daughter Virginia lives in Tennessee, but we went to see her, and we didn't spend out any money for food except at regular grocery stores that we were planning on doing. We didn't even stop at a grocery store because, oh, we forgot to bring lunch. Everywhere we went, we took food. A meal does not have to look like a full picnic lunch or whatever. Like, a lot of times when we're in the car, we take cheese, crackers, some cut up peppers, some cut up apples. You can make it even easier by getting some of those little tiny cucumbers that you just hand one to each person. Grapes, clementines. There's a lot of different things that you could, even if you can't bring it from home, stopping at the grocery store and buying those types of things.
Not a convenience store.
Not a convenience store, no. Not stopping and buying fancy drinks or fancy prepared meals or anything like that.
Convenience is a good way to say overpriced.
So we were able to go, because people are like, oh, well, you guys live on a low income, so who paid for your vacation? We paid for our vacation. My mom actually gave us some money because that was part of a Christmas present to us. But
we stayed with family. We ate meals that we cooked and prepared.
he can come.
He's good.
Oh, we have an upset baby. Sorry, we had a little guy who wanted to come join the video. So anyway, buying food, making purposeful decisions with your food. And like I said, it's grabbing some stuff out of the cupboard. So maybe next time you shop at Walmart, you shop at Shaw's, whatever store you go to, if you grab some things that are really easy. Like, one thing I always keep on hand is string cheese. The green bag at Sam's Club is a really good deal. And so I keep it. You can throw it in the freezer and take it out of the freezer and just eat it when it thaws. So I always keep string cheese on hand. And if I have a box of crackers, I can make anything else that's in the cupboard work. So yeah, that's a really good way to save money. While we were traveling, and I think I did a video about this, but while we were traveling, we stayed with family and friends along the way. And so that saved us a ton of money. One, because people fed us. My daughter's family, we actually did almost all the cooking, but when on our trip down, we stayed like a whole day with a friend, and she fed us wonderful meals, and it was great. And so that's a different way to save money. What are some other ways we save money? He's thinking.
Sorry, I was thinking about the travel. I was thinking in regard to the traveling. It's not even so much that we save money, but like the question of, we are able to travel because we stay with people. We would not get a single hotel room.
Right.
If we had to stop at a hotel once, we'd have to get at least 2 rooms because there's 10 of us.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 rooms. That would be hundreds and hundreds. That would be as much as we spend on the whole vacation.
Yeah.
So just, it's not a matter, and sometimes the matter of, we are able to do something that we would not otherwise be able to do because we bring the food with us, we travel within our means, we use these memberships, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Things that we wouldn't be able to do on a regular basis because of our income, we are able to do because we craft it well.
Another thing is we don't buy clothing all the time. We buy clothing as people need them. So recently I bought a pair of pajama pants for somebody who needed them. I bought shoes for somebody who needed them. But like in our family, everybody has one pair of shoes, possibly a second pair, either because they kept their pair from previously, depending how bad the shoes were, or there was like a hand-me-down pair somewhere along the way that's like kind of an extra pair. But as a society, we have a lot more than we need. And there are people that have, 6, 7, 8 pairs of shoes. And I'm not saying to not have certain shoes. Like if you own a farm,
yeah, you're probably gonna need some muck boots.
And you need some muck boots. That I'm not talking about that. If you like, our son-in-law is in construction, he needs certain shoes. for his work. And so I'm not talking about that type of thing. I'm talking about, I have 5 pairs of tennis shoes just for fun.
And if you have them, or people give them to you, but if you're spending money on them, it may be a better decision to not spend them.
We don't go out to buy a bunch of extras. Now, some of our kids have a bunch more clothes than other kids because they've gotten hand-me-downs. And so I keep boxes of clothes in the basement that they only have so many clothes in their room because otherwise it gets overwhelming to them. But I have more clothes downstairs. But I don't go out and purchase a bunch of clothes just because, oh, it's school time, we need to purchase new clothes. Or, oh, it's summer, so we need to purchase new clothes. My kids have a variety of long sleeve shirts and short sleeve shirts, and I just replace as we need to instead of going because it's that time of year. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say also, like, if you see my shirt and Josiah's shirt over there.
Those brand new shirts.
There's a bunch of brand new shirts. They were given to us by
A friend.
Yeah, someone who had an abundance of them and wanted to bless us because we like to wear shirts that talk about Jesus a lot. So we're like, we have things that sometimes are given to us.
Elisha pants.
We buy them in bulk on discount.
Sorry, the toddler has decided that if his pants are a little too loose, he's going to try to get them. So we took them. We fixed it. Anyway, so another way to save money, not going out and purchasing, and I'm not saying never buy clothes. If you're looking for a shirt that says something about Jesus, and that's what you're looking for, that's totally fine. Just going out and buying lots and lots of stuff that isn't necessary. Staying out of stores. That's one way to save money.
Oh, definitely.
Because anytime you go into a store, and there's times you have to go into a store, I'm not saying that, but if you go to the store today to pick up milk and eggs, you're probably going to see something else that looks interesting that you're going to put in your cart.
Okay, I'm going to find a lot of things that are interesting, put them in my cart. That's why they don't take me in stores.
And no matter what store you go into, if you go into a clothing store, if you go into a food store, if you go into a bookstore, I'm bad about bookstores. We came home with a pile of used books that we got on vacation. But
she spent a whole $18 on like 20 some odd books.
But anyway, the idea of not going into stores. So we get Walmart pickup for various reasons. I mean, pickup or delivery for various reasons because of people's neurological conditions in our household. But I found there's a lot of times I can push off doing the delivery one day by just being careful with what I have, not depriving our family of anything, but like, oh, I can make that recipe that only has 1 stick of butter instead of that recipe that has 2 sticks of butter. And this also, having a stocked pantry and everything helps. But if you can put off going to the store, even just for one meal, it encourages you to use the things that you already have in your home. And over the course of time, saves you a lot of money. If every time you were going to go to the store, let's say you go to the store once a week, and you push it off by 1 meal time, you've probably saved $30 to $40 in that month just by making that meal at home and using things you already had that would have gone to waste.
Okay, this is almost like I didn't think this had to be said, but years ago I used to work in the operating room at the local hospital, and we were talking about like what people brought for lunch, doctors, nurses, surgical techs, people like that, sales reps that would come in, and they primarily brought leftovers from their home. But there's a couple of people that said, we don't eat our leftovers. We make food, and if there's anything left over, we just throw it in the trash. I'd like to know how much money was spent on that. And again, people make their own decisions, but just eating leftovers. You mentioned like stretching it a little further. The fact that when you make a meal of this and there's only 1 portion left, don't throw it away, save it.
Right.
Maybe daddy wants a snack at night. Maybe one of the kids will be hungry for some reason.
And when we're making this video, we're not trying to tell you this is how you need to live your life, but we've had people ask us questions of how to save money. And these are ways that we do to save money. Yep. So those leftovers, if it's a portion of food that can be eaten as a meal, maybe you have a husband who works that you can send it to work with them. Maybe, like he was saying, a hungry kid or whatever. If you have little portions of things, I haven't done this for a while because just our family dynamic, we use all the food, but we used to have bags in the freezer that we would put leftovers in if they worked for soup. And so we would have one bag that was like meat, like beef based, and one bag that was like chicken based. So if we had a little bit of chicken left over from supper, we'd throw it in there. If we had a little bit of corn, we'd throw it in there. If we had some leftover carrots, like just all kinds of things got thrown in this bag. The stuff in the bag was totally cooked because it was leftovers from another meal. and we would add broth or like tomato juice, like V8 vegetable juice. You could add that. You could add, I mean, just water works depending on how you use the other seasonings. And then you can thaw that, put it in a soup pot, see what other things you might need to add. Like maybe it's not very thick and so you add some potatoes. Maybe it doesn't have a whole lot of meat, so you add some meat to it. But that's a whole other meal you're getting out of leftovers that wouldn't have been used. And I used to actually take that regularly for our church potlucks. And a lot of times people would say, oh, what is this soup? And I'd be like, I don't know.
No idea. There's a lot of stuff in
I
there.
can't make it again. So yeah, definitely using your leftovers, making plans, and cleaning out your fridge regularly are good ways to do it. So, but yeah, I was thinking of something else, but now I can't remember. Something we don't buy. Oh, we don't buy the latest and greatest, like iPads, phones, technology. That's what I'm trying to say. Technology. We don't buy the latest and greatest technology in everything. We might buy something because there's a need for it. Like this was a new screen. Like we went to the store, bought a brand new TV screen that's hooked up to our computer because we use it. This is our computer, but it's also our TV. We watch YouTube and stuff like that. And so it's something that is used multiple times a day. The kids do their math on here. We watch YouTube like documentaries together. We use it for Bible study type things.
Brilliant.
So Brilliant is another, brilliant.org is a free like science thing. So we use a lot of like free things for educational purposes and personal growth, and we use it on this thing. But our phones, I don't have my phone with me, but the phone that we're filming on is an old iPhone that somebody gave us because they needed a new one or wanted a new one, or I don't know how that happened.
Actually, that one, sorry, this is mine. Sorry. I'm looking to see what phone we're on. This is actually my phone, and yes, we did purchase it, used, refurbished, whatever it was.
Okay.
I think it's a iPhone SE 2020 version, so I think I paid $100 for it. And then your phone is also $100.
Okay. The ones before that had been given to us because someone no longer had a need for
This
them.
iPad was given to us. It's a little outdated, but it still works.
And so this is
Things like
used
that. Other
for the
people
kids
get rid of their technology.
for
and here.
apps. So like if for like this long trip we just went on, we had some educational games on there that the kids would play. And so somebody who's getting rid of something, we're willing to say, yeah, we'll try it. We'll see if it works for us and it works for our needs. Not saying again, you can't buy something new, but just maybe think. Okay, so real life happened. The baby fell down. He's okay. But I was kind of done with that, and we're gonna get ready for Bible. If you have more ideas of how to save money, put them down in the comments, or if you have questions of how to save money on specific categories in your household, ask. We'll see you guys next time on Hurting Little Guys to the Glory of God. Bye.